Hello and welcome to our today's news bulletin here on Luntha television. My name is Bernard Manza. Our top stories.
Holy See Press Office announces that the new Vatican policy aligned with the teachings of the Catholic Church will be effective on the 1st of September. Government describes the Africa Internet Governance Forum as a learning and knowledge sharing platform for African countries. Over 70 people have been nabbed for looting and vandalizing in a court-blocked demonstrations against selective justice in the judiciary. And in other news, abducted Nigerian Catholic priest gets killed by captors.
Stay there for these and many other stories. A Vatican policy published on Tuesday says that the Holy See's financial investments cannot contradict Catholic teaching. The policy stipulates that Vatican investments should be aligned with the teachings of the Catholic Church, with specific exclusions for financial investments which contradict its fundamental principles, such as the sanctity of life or the dignity of the human being or the common good. The guidelines also say that investments of the Holy See and related entities should aim to contribute to a more just and sustainable world and to generate sufficient return in a sustainable way. Tandu Mzumara reading a Catholic News Agency report.
The policy, which continues Pope Francis's reform of Vatican finances, goes into effect on the 1st of September this year. Investments will be made through APSA, the Holy See's Treasury and Sovereign Wealth Manager, and overseen by an ethics committee of 4 financial professionals headed by Cardinal Kevin Farrell. According to the policy, the Vatican and related entities may not invest in projects and technologies related to pornography and prostitution, gambling, weapons and defense industry, pro-abortion health centers and laboratories or pharmaceutical companies that manufacture contraceptive products and or work with embryonic stem cells. Industries which the policy says should be avoided for the investment but are not prohibited include oil and mining, nuclear energy and alcoholic beverages. There will be a 1-year grace period for Vatican entities to divest of existing investments not in conformity with the new policies.
That was Tandu Mzumara with a Catholic News Agency report. Minister of Information and Digitalization Gospel Kazako has said the Africa Internet Governance Forum is a platform for African countries to learn and share knowledge in a way that will benefit Africa to be independent and create its own fabric and minimize relying on European countries in accessing the Internet. Kazako, who is also a government spokesperson, made the remarks earlier today after he officially opened the 11th edition of Africa Internet Governance Forum, which the country is hosting at the Bingu International Convention Center, BICC, in Lilongwe. The minister was quick to recognize that this is a great forum for Africa to unite and find possible solutions to promote Internet across the continent without relying on other foreign countries. Bridget Monoka was there and she now reports.
According to Kazako, members from over 50 countries are in the country, including AU Commissioner, members of Parliament, and ministers, where they will discuss issues that will ensure that Internet is safe for everyone, especially vulnerable people, including women and children. He said Africa has realized to stand as one unit to negotiate things to do with Internet and that it will complete the implementation of the Malawi 2063 agenda. Kazako further stated that this is an initiative which will make the African continent to be self-reliant.
I'm very pleased to host this Internet Governance Forum. As some of you are aware that digitizing and digitalization are a priority in this government agenda, and it's also very important for us to be ensuring that we are able to create interface with our colleagues in the African continent, because Malawi cannot be working in isolation. So it was more than a pleasure when we were requested that we host the Internet Governance Forum here in this country, because what it meant is we are in the same platform and on the same journey. So we're hoping, and we have a lot of confidence that this conference will bring a lot of result, a result that will not only fertilize the agenda that we have in this country, but I think, and we sincerely believe and strongly believe that that will also assist to bring some kind of cohesion in Africa. I think.
In her remarks, Her Excellency Amina Abu Zaidi, who is the Commissioner for Infrastructure and Energy of the African Union Commission, said if African countries combine and put together their resources, it will help to have easy access to matters of ICT and recognize the challenges that could be faced.
Yes, it's true that the 30 or 40% only of the continent is connected, and actually the concentration of this connectivity is only in in urban areas. What we would like to see, in addition of, going in that direction of inclusiveness, so inclusiveness not just about women, men, youth, and young and not young people. I'm not saying old, but not young people, but also urban rural. And that's a very, very serious distinction that we are seeing, or gap that we are seeing, and divide that we are seeing in Africa. Urban rural. We want to see all the services, all the benefits of this fantastic technology extending to our rural areas.
Among other things, the forum will help ICT professionals to learn a lot from other countries, and will also expose local professionals to countries that are already advanced in technologies. The Africa IGF will be followed by the Global IGF, which will be held in Ethiopia from 28th November to 2nd December this year. For Luntha News in Lilongwe, this is Bridget Mwanoka.
As arrests of officers at the Accountant General's office continue, Center for Social Transparency and Accountability (CSAT) has questioned the safety of Malawi's taxpayers' money following the looting. The arrests have come due to revelations of fraud at the Accountant General's department in the Ministry of Finance, where accounting personnel have been conniving with accountants from government agencies to siphon money from account number 1 through allowances. CSAT Executive Director Willy Kambwandira says the development leaves a lot to be desired in as far as public finance management is concerned. We have a report which is being read by Falis Chizombe.
According to reports, accountants from the Anti-Corruption Bureau, Office of Director of Public Prosecutions, Malawi Defense Force, Malawi Police Service, and the judiciary have been implicated in the fraud. Earlier, spokesperson Taulai Banda told the local media that investigations into the matter revealed that some officers at the Accountant General's office were involved in the dubious transaction for personal gain. He said the new Integrated Financial Management Information System has been instrumental in assisting the government to monitor transactions, identify irregularities, and improve efficiency in public service delivery in accordance with the laws of Malawi. Yesterday, Fiscal Police arrested 4 more workers from the Accountant General's office on suspicion that they misappropriated millions of kwacha, bringing the total number of those arrested to 17. Commenting on the matter, Center for Social Accountability and Transparency (CSAT) Executive Director Willy Kambwandira said the increase in officials being arrested tells that the routing is deep than what is being seen at the moment.
It is very important for government, the Auditor General, to move in very quickly and institute an independent audit to establish the exact amount of money that could have been looted, and again to establish all individuals that were involved in the plunder.
However, while declining to comment on the actual amount of money suspected to have been looted, Treasury spokesperson Taulai Banda said the Malawians' taxpayers' money is safe, as the ministry has also taken appropriate measures to prevent further fraud. Despite not hinting the progress of the investigations, Malawi Police Services Deputy Spokesperson Halina Maza has told us that investigations may continue based on how the case is progressing in court. It has been revealed that officers from the Accountant General's Department were getting more than 40 days of allowances per month, with other officers getting an average of 7 million every month.
Phyllis Chizombe reading that report. Remember that you are watching our 7:30 news bulletin coming to you live from our Bishop Navy Media Center in Lilongwe. We'll be back after this short commercial break.
Ndakulandira naphunzitsi nonse ku msonkhano wathu uno. Ani aka skulu ino ayitanisa msonkhano ndi cholinga choti tidzafotokozerane komanso kudziwitsana zakatemera wa COVID-19 wa Pfizer amene ndi wovomerezeka kwa ana oyambira zaka 12 kufika 17. Ndiye tuganiza zoyitanisa chipatala kuti adzabwera adzatifotokozere bwino zakatemera ameneyi. Akomwe ndaona mwayimika mkono muli ndi mawu.
Ndi ndifunso yenda head. Kuti mungatitsimikizire bwanji zakatemera ameneyo. Anthu akuti achinyamata azaka 12 fika 17 awakonzera katemera wawo special kuti akalandira amwalire ndizoona ahead.
Ndisara kuyankheni bambo komwe ndaona mayi na manja mwayimika mkono muli ndi mawu.
Ahead ine ndi manga komanso ndifuna ndiyankhe zimene amafunsa akomwe azingakhala makufunsa nimeyo ahead. Akomwe imeneyo ndi nkhamba kamashadi. Ana anga awiri aja mukwadziwa eti aja misinkhu ngati yomweyi amene achata nanti akaleka katemera wa COVID-19 unduna wazo umoyo utangamba kumene kupereka katemera ameneyo pano pali bwino sakudwala komanso sanafe niyo mukwaona akomwe ife aphunzitsi timakumana ndi ana osiyana-siyana komanso anthu osiyana-siyana zimene zimapereka chiopsezo kwa ife aphunzitsi tunde katemera ameneyu atitetezera ife aphunzitsi komanso ana kuti asatenge kachilombo ka COVID-19 komanso kuti asadwale matenda a COVID-19 komanso zithandizira kuti ana asama jombe ku skulu chifukwa chokuti ana akudwala chani COVID-19 tako ndithu
zoona mayi na manja ndimafuna ndingonjezera kunena kuti katemera konza special wa chinyamata katemera ndoyina aliyense oyambira zaka 12 kupita tsogolo ndikukhulupirira kuti mwayankhidwa bambo komwe eti
Zabeka bwino ahead.
Chabwino ndiyeti ndalimbikitse makolo komanso alezana kuti alolezana awo alandire katemera amene ncholinga choti atetezeke asagone mchipatala kapena kumwalira kumene ndi COVID-19. Ndiyeti uzadi show auza chipatala zabwere pa sikulu pathu pompano kuti adzapereke katemera kwa ana onse amene makolo awo apereka chilerozo kuti anawo alandire katemera.
Ziko ma ahead.
Welcome back, and my name is Bernard Mwanza. A quick reminder of our main stories.
Holy See Press Office announces that the new Vatican policy aligned with the teachings of the Catholic Church will be effective on the 1st of September. government describes the Africa Internet Governance Forum as a learning and knowledge-sharing platform for African countries. Over 70 people have been nabbed for looting and vandalizing in a court-blocked demonstrations against selective justice in the judiciary. And in other news, abducted Nigerian Catholic priest gets killed by captors.
Moving on, more than 70 protesters have today been arrested for causing riots and vandalism in some areas within Lilongwe city. The looters who posed as demonstrators in a court-blocked demonstration were arrested alongside some organizers of what they called selective justice in the judiciary protests. Confirming this, spokesperson for Lilongwe Police, Sub-Inspector Hastings Chigaru, said the arrested group will answer 3 charges of unlawful assembly, contempt of court, and inciting violence. Our reporter Jacqueline Saidi has more.
The High Court in Lilongwe issued an injunction on Tuesday suspending the demonstrations that were scheduled to take place today, the 20th of July, in protest against what they called selective justice in the judiciary. Regardless of a court injunction obtained by John Kwenda and other 3 concerned individuals, organizers of the demonstrations still converged at the Lilongwe Community Center ground in the morning hours, where some gathered around Kapiri. Following the assembly, heavily armed riot police followed the crowd, where they tried to brief the organizers about the injunction, restraining them from holding the protests unless they provide names to be liable for any damages. But the organizers still told the police that they will proceed with the demonstrations with the justification that the action by the courts vindicates the very same reason for the protests. To dispense the groups which started rioting, police used tear gas and water cannon around Biwi Triangle and Waka Waka Market area in Lilongwe. Commenting on the rioting and how the protesters carried themselves, the Minister of Information, Honorable Gospel Kazako, said the Tonse government would never stop the public to express their concerns, but rather encourages people to be doing so while following the law. He noted that it is sad that others would take advantage of the current situation in the country to show their lawlessness and start vandalizing fellow Malawians' property.
You know very well that this government will not stop anybody from demonstrating. It will not bar anybody from expressing their views, and that has to be followed using the law. These are not the first demos in this country, for example. We have seen lots of people, lots of citizens, lots of groups participating or organizing demos, and they have been done. So this government doesn't stop anybody. But we understand that there are certain citizens that were within their rights that went to court and said that several demos in the past have made them helpless, they have broken their businesses, so we understand, and they didn't think that this was going to help matters at all. So they went to court, we hear, and then obtained an injunction. To us, the court is the last authority because we are a lawful nation, and you know that one of the tenets that we believe in is the rule of law. And then if the court issued an injunction, I think it was very important that for those that had organized these demonstrations needed to comply.
Police have since arrested over 70 people that participated in the protests, which were led by the human rights ambassadors in Lilongwe. According to the spokesperson for Lilongwe Police, Sub-Inspector Hastings Chigaru, the group will answer 3 charges of unlawful assembly, contempt of court, and inciting violence. For Luntha Television News, this is Jacqueline Saidi.
Police in Lombardy are hunting for unknown assailants who, on July 19th, assaulted to death Chisomo Chintemwende, age 22, who hailed from Kayaze village in Senior Chief Chitukula in Lilongwe. It was reported that the deceased and his mother on July 18th this year went to their garden for farming. Later in the afternoon, his mother left him behind while playing with his 3 friends. Surprisingly, Chimtemwende never returned from the garden, and his mother thought that he had slept at one of his friends' house. The following morning, Chimtemwende was found dead in the same garden by his mother in a pool of blood with 2 deep cuts in the head. Falis Chizombe caught up with Lombard's police spokesperson, Sergeant Felix Kunyani.
Yes, let me confirm about the death of Chisomo Chimtemwende, aged 22, from Senior Chief Chitula in Lilongwe. It is reported that this man went to the garden with his mother, but he never came back home up until the next morning, whereby his mother found her dead in the garden. When we received this information, we rushed to the scene together with the medical personnel, and when we took the body to Kamuzu Central Hospital for post-mortem, results came out that the guy was indeed assaulted, and he died due to severe head injuries coming from the assault. Therefore, we have launched a manhunt for their assailants, and we are appealing to the members of the public who may have information which can lead to the arrest of the suspects to DPS police, so that we can get these assailants arrested.
In news from elsewhere, the head of the Kaduna State Branch of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend John Joseph Hayabi, has said one of the 2 Catholic priests who was abducted by gunmen in the northern Nigeria state of Kaduna has been shot dead by the kidnappers, while the other priest, Reverend Father Donatus Cleopas, was freed after a ransom was paid. In a statement, the church said the decomposing body of Reverend Father John Mark Chetnam was discovered on Tuesday. The latter described the killing as gruesome murder. This is happening at a time Nigeria grapples with a wave of deadly violence by armed gangs. Thousands of civilians have either been killed or abducted for ransom since the beginning of this year alone, mostly in the north of the country. President Muhammad Buhari's government is facing increasing criticism for failing to tackle the widespread insecurity. Well, on that note, we have come to the very end of our today's news bulletin here on Luntha Television. But before we go, another look at our main stories.
Holy See Press Office announces that the new Vatican policy aligned with the teachings of the Catholic Church will be effective on the 1st of September. Government describes the Africa Internet Governance Forum as a learning and knowledge-sharing platform for African countries. Over 70 people have been nabbed for looting and vandalizing in a court-blocked demonstrations against selective justice in the judiciary. And in other news, abducted Nigerian Catholic priest gets killed by captors.
Thanks for watching the news. And next is the sports segment with King Major Kamwendo. This has been Brenad Manza. Goodbye for now.